Hello, welcome to the 54th edition of Drive-Thru Review. Today I'm going to talk about Midgard. It is a area control Euro game, kind of like El Grande. Probably reminds me most of that for that aspect of it, but it's also got a nice layer of card drafting on top of that. So if you've played like Notre Dame or Seven Wonders or something, maybe Magic, every round you're going to be drafting cards that will allow you to give certain actions to your little workers or your Vikings, and then try to dominate different areas of the board. So the card drafting is a large part of the game. It doesn't take up a whole lot of time, but it's really probably the key aspect of the game. But the game actually plays really quickly. It plays 3 to 5 players, but you can definitely get this in 45 minutes once everybody knows how to play the game. So let me jump into how it plays. I'll kind of show you how the card drafting and the area control meld, and then I'll come back and share my thoughts. Alright, so here's the board set up for a 3-player game. It plays 3 to 5. You can see you've got different areas of the board here that you're going to be placing your Vikings in. And you've got 2 special areas that are sort of like the heavens. You've got Asgard and Valheim here. You can place Vikings in there as well. You've also got Valhalla here, so if your Viking ever dies, it'll go to Valhalla to then be put at the beginning of the round on your boat. So you can see there's 5 boats in different colors, yellow, green, black I've got here. And at Tandy they've also got sort of a round breakdown and some scoring. Also a scoring track up here. Now, one thing that's nice about this game is the insert is fantastic. You've got the different color cards here that you're going to easily separated. And then some tokens that you can get, or you can just leave those in the box. And then here are your doom tokens, which you're going to put on the board at the beginning of each round. So each player starts off with 5 regular Vikings, and then everybody gets 1 leader. And so he sort of counts as 1.5 normal Vikings. He's really just there as a tiebreaker. So let's go actually and do a round, but actually do it backwards. You're going to play this 3 rounds, and I want to talk about how the rounds are scored at the end first, and then I'll work backwards from how the guys are placed in the different areas, and then talk about how the cards are drafted. I think that'll make more sense. Okay, basically what you're trying to do is get the majority in each of the provinces here. And you can see these are color-coded, so you've got the Jotunheim area here divided into 4 provinces. You've got the Alfheim area here is divided into 3. And then Mannheim's up here, also divided into 3. And you're going to score points based on how many provinces you control in a particular area. So in this case, if we look at this, we can see that yellow obviously will control this province because he's got the only marker in there. And you can tell how many markers are allowed to be in a province based on the number of little village symbols here. So there's only 4 can be put in there. So black would control this one on the bottom. He's the only one there. This one, both players are tied. There's a green and a yellow here, so nobody is considered to control this at all. So that one's just kind of a wash. This one up here, green controls it because even though there's 2 markers, green has the leader, so he trumps the other guy. So in this case, yellow controls 1 province, black controls 1 province, and green controls 1 province. So each of them are going to get 3 points at the end of the round. Now let me show you the scoring for that. If you control 1 province in one of the colored regions, you get 3. If you controlled all 4 provinces, you would get 20. And if you controlled 3, you get 12, etc. And this is all nicely broken down here. And there's the 2 special areas up here, the heavens. This is Asgard. If you have the majority of that at the end of the round, you get 5 points. And Valheim, if you have the majority of this, this will let you take 2 tokens each of any type. So let me talk a little bit about the tokens at the end of the round. So there's 3 types of tokens, and each of them match the different colored areas. So you've got your Jotunheim blue token there to match that. You've got your Alfheim A token there to match this area over here. And then you've got your Mannheim to match this area up here at the top. So the way that you get tokens is if you have a guy in a province, then you get a token. So yellow would get 1, 2, 3 tokens. It doesn't matter if you control it, just if you've got a guy there. Black would get 1 for Jotunheim, and then green would get 2 because he's got workers in each of the 2 spots. Now for each complete set of these tokens, and that means 1 of each, you're going to get 5 points. So this would be a 5-point set. because I've got one of each of the three areas. Now the other tokens in the game are these doom tokens. So at the end of the round, any Vikings that are in areas with doom tokens, and these are randomly placed, 5 of the areas will have these at the beginning of each round, and then you'll randomly redo them every time, so that it's going to be really random. All of these Vikings that are in here at the end of the round you're going to score 2 points for each Viking that's in a doom token, and then they're going to go to Valhalla. So if we just scored these areas here, yellow would get 2, 4, and 6, and then green would also get 6, and these will go to Valhalla. So at the end of the round, you're also going to get 1 point for each of your tokens that are in Valhalla, and then they'll move from Valhalla back down to the boats down here. Now, the doom tokens aren't the only way that these will get in here. There are ways for players through the card play to attack other Vikings, remove them from areas, and they'll immediately go to Valhalla, where they'll also score a point at the end of the round. So now that I've showed you scoring at the end of the round, let me talk a little bit about how the Vikings are going to get onto the board. Now there's 3 groups of cards. You've got your gold cards, your bronze cards, and your silver cards here. Now all of these are going to sort of work similarly within their groups. So let's take a look at the bronze cards first. Okay, so these are sort of the majority of what these bronze cards are going to do. And what these will do is let you move Vikings from anywhere on the board to anywhere else on the board, pretty much. So this one, if I played this one as, say, invade Mannheim, so I could take 2 guys from Jotunheim and move them to Mannheim, or 2 guys off of my boats over here, or 1 guy from one spot, 1 guy from the other, and I can move them up to here. Now they don't have to go to the same province. They could put 1 here and 1 here, or whatever you wanted to do. And so you can see that there are ones for each of the different area colors. Now these can also be used to move Vikings up into the heavens. So you could play one of these cards to either move it to the province or the area depicted on the card, or to one of these 2 spots. The other type of card that will be in the bronze deck is a new warrior card. And these will let you add warriors from your off-board supply right into your boat, and then you can place a warrior anywhere you want. So these are going to be key to getting a larger and larger army of Vikings. The next step up are these silver cards, and these are attack cards. So this one says Attack Alfheim. In this one I can move 1 of my guys from anywhere on the board, either my boat or another province, into a province where there's another player. Now the trick is that these leaders here can never be attacked. They're safe wherever they're at. So just give you an example of what will happen. I'll have one of the black workers there, and then maybe this green guy, he comes over here and he attacks and displaces him. He'll go right to Valhalla, where he'll score a point at the end of the game. And these attack ones are the only ways that you can ever, take out an occupied village in a province here. Otherwise, it's got to be unoccupied for you to move it. And so one of the other kind of types of cards in here is you can actually move 3 Vikings to any spot on the board. So that's another silver card. Now the gold cards are easily the most powerful cards in the game, and they're also the most varied. Let's show you a couple of these. So this one is Score Mannheim. So if I play this card, you'll score Mannheim up here as if it was the end of the round. So everybody's going to get points that has majority there. So this one is New Warriors in Jotunheim. This lets you take 2 warriors, not just 1, and put it right into Jotunheim. This one will just give you 3 A tokens, and this one will let you draw 2 silver cards. This one will let you destroy a particular province in Alfheim. So you could just knock out all of the tokens that are there, and they'll go right to Valhalla. The other thing to note on these yellow cards are these numbers at the bottom. Now at the beginning of the game, players are going to reveal all the yellow cards that they have. So it's going to give you an idea of what the player is going to be capable of. So if they show you this Score Mannheim card, you're going to know that, hey, you may want to get some guys in there, maybe change your approach a little bit. But also, the player that shows the highest number card, which according to the rules, the higher the number, the more powerful the card, they're going to be forced to go first. So in these area control type of games, you can see that, you don't want to put your guy in there just to be knocked out first. But so they balance that with giving you the more powerful card. If you've got the higher number, you've got to go first, and then everybody else, it just goes clockwise from there. So at the beginning of each round, each player is going to be dealt 1 gold card, 3 bronze cards, and 2 silver cards. And then you're going to draft. So you're just going to choose and keep 1 of these, and then pass the rest to your left, and then you'll get the rest of the cards from your player on the right. You'll choose another one, and then you'll keep passing around until everybody has 6 cards. So in the first round, you can see you're going to do 4 actions. So you're going to play 4 cards, and you'll still have 2 left at the end of the round. You'll set those 2 aside, and then you're going to draw 6 more cards, 1 gold, 3 bronze, and 2 silvers, and draft those. And then you're going to play 5 actions. You're still going to keep the 2 cards that you had in the first round. You won't mix those in with the drafting. So you can keep cards sort of out of people's hands, you know, for most of the game. Or maybe keep cards that you will want to do a different approach later. So in the second round, you're going to play 5 cards, and then you're going to draft 6 cards, and then you're going to play 6 actions. So there'll be some cards that you don't ever play in the game. Now, after each of these rounds, you're going to score according to the end of round stuff, which we've already gone over. So you're going to score, you're going to try to control provinces, you're going to get points for Asgard, you're going to get province tokens for Vanheim, your Doomed Vikings, which is, it's a tricky aspect because your Doomed Vikings are going to score points immediately, but then you're not going to have any guys in there later to control the province for later rounds. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of the game. And then you get 1 point for all the Vikings in Valhalla. Everybody resets back to the boats that was dead, and then you play your next round. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the overview. This is a game I actually quite like. This game, I think the more I play it, the more I like it. The area control part of it is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. You know, you're trying to dominate areas to, you know, lock in provinces in each of the different areas. You know, you might try to score points by, you know, placing your workers where there's a Doom token. You may maybe try to collect, you know, tokens for all 3 of the different areas. And then you've got your, you know, your little sort of default actions at the top, the little heavens areas where you might go. But the card drafting really adds in a lot to that, where you can kind of draft cards and set yourself up for an approach from one round to the next. So you may draft a bunch of Jotunheim cards the first round, Alfheim cards the second round, and the other cards the third round. Maybe try to get your tokens that way. You know, each round you try to get different tokens. You may try to make sure that you get new warrior cards so that you can add more warriors to the board. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to have a whole lot of you know, warriors out to dominate into the areas and score any points that way. And I think the mix of the various ways to score points by dominating provinces, getting tokens, you know, sort of sacrificing your little drafted workers there for the Doom tokens, and combine that with the drafting really kind of sets up some real nice, you know, fun gameplay. So it's a game that is it's a little bit older, you know, a couple years, not that old really, but I think you can still find it relatively quickly or cheaply. So I would definitely take a look at it. And if you've got anybody that is sort of a card drafter that hasn't played a lot of Euro games, like maybe a Magic player buddy or something like that, I think that would be, this would be a nice gateway for that type of player into the world of dry European shipping games. So, thanks.